far. Just a reminder and to level set, as we do in every meeting, the three phases of recovery are the response, the restore, and reimagine. We are in the restore phase, which the priorities are intermediate housing, assistance and shelter, demo and debris removal, and resident supports. And we have recently launched all the neighborhood vision and planning work. In terms of our winter focus areas within these areas, the number one focus has been maximizing available intermediate housing and shelter, which we're excited to give an update on that. Eliminate debris, demolish unsafe structures, and repair infrastructure. And then we continue to operate and supply the resource hubs. And to date, we've funded over 50 nonprofits with $14 million. We activated the Code Blue activation earlier than we thought in November, but we've got an arrangement with Peter and Paul Community Services to provide up to 700 beds across 9 facilities across the city. We launched 2 new programs, the first of which is non-congregate sheltering, which is hotel rooms. This is made available mainly to tornado victims, but to date we've placed 72 households in non-congregate shelter with over 1,500 room nights and 3,900 resident nights. But I did want to touch on the housing and debris briefly. There was over 5,000 housing units that were impacted by the tornado. To date, we stabilized or repaired 184 homes. We have launched an emergency rental and hotel assistance. We have 340 rental units through vacant unit turns that we're working to get online as quickly as possible, and there have been 517 building permits issued in the tornado zone. Debris, USAH has estimated more than 900,000 tons of debris to be removed. We have removed over 140,000 tons from the right-of-way. 69 buildings have been demoed, 10 of which were done by the city. 6,000 estimated trees cut and trimmed, and 1,300 applications have come into the outreach center, which is up at the Urban League on Natural Bridge for private property assistance, whether that's building demos, debris removal, or both. The home repair, we're really excited about SLS. They're going to launch the home repair construction management program this month. To date, we have repaired 16 homes since the tornado, which is not a good figure. We are hoping that with the relationship with SLS, which is a leading disaster recovery, construction management, home repair firm, that we can do that much a month, if not more. Our goal is to 20 a month and 60 to 80 over these next 3 to 4 months. On the winter sheltering, we've awarded $4 million, and again, we will, the non-congregate sheltering, we are going to need an additional $2 million that will be on the January 14th special E&A for the funds needed to support the non-congregate sheltering through mid-February, which is when that program is scheduled to end. The deposit rental since, as I mentioned, we opened that up in early December. We have over 140 applications received, 20 that have been approved through the end of the day today. The Impacted Tenants Fund, and I got this update this morning from Valerie Russell. The $260,000 pilot launched November 21st. Employment Connection is running that program. We have received 181 applications, reviewed 154, and awarded to 50 grants totaling $72,000. Of the applications we received, 28 were deemed ineligible. The balance of the applications that are being evaluated, what's waiting to be done is the Buildings Division going out to inspect the houses. At this pace, the Impacted Tenants Fund, the $260,000 pilot, will run out in early March, and so DHS wants to, for the special, they want to come and request the $1 million of this RAMS fund from Board Bill 93 to expand the program with that $1 million. But I mentioned that the challenges with that have been the holidays. It was the new contracting module that the Recovery Office and the rest of the city was learning how to use, and then some of the major contracts that are included in these were very complex, very detailed, that required a significant amount of negotiation, some of which didn't wrap up until last week.
Do you still stand by that the only reason that there was a lack of executing those contracts is because of Thanksgiving, that is one day out of the month of November?
If that's what came across, I'm sorry. Holidays were a factor, but it was the launch of the new contract module and people learning how to use it. And most significantly, it was several very complex projects that were being negotiated up until last week for several of them. But I'm not proud of these results, and reported this transparently, and it is a focus, and we are going to get these executed and addressed.
I was just asking him specifically kind of about the campus and institutional anchors nonprofit part that's listed under Restore, and just curious about what those institutional anchors are.
Yeah, so that's something that we're actually in the process of developing with community. So you all know we launched neighborhood planning committee efforts, and all of those committees got selected. What that overall effort is we're trying to take into account from the perspective of the community, what are the neighborhood anchors and institutions they want to see, prioritize as we look at broader repair. We know some of those, like what they already are. Like we know people have talked a lot about the Save a Lot on Natural Bridge and wanting a grocery store there. So we have been continuously trying to figure out what's going there, what's the plans for that. We even have a meeting next week, try to talk about that. There are other ones like the library. So we heard about Julian Library. We know there's a lot of stuff in around Centennial Church and Fountain Park. So we're trying to take inventory of what the community's priorities are there, so that as we work to figure out where sets of dollars go to bring institutions back, that we do that. So we're still in the planning process for that. And I know this was also in the context of the conversation of why money is going out slower, especially tied to a lot of big contracts. The last 3 to 6 months has really been setting up the infrastructure that it's not existed to run programs or run any of these programs at scale. And so one of the major kind of areas around that has been getting a lot of those direct things set up. We have now set those up. And so now what we're focusing on as we move into January, and we hope and plan and have every intent to see drastic action speed up in terms of what happens in the area. We have finally gotten clarification from FEMA on what's getting funded.
Puts it all with other things, but I'm just specifically asking about the money that they gave, how much of that has come down?
So they've not given any of that money. All of that money sits in the state, and the state has to approve it. Where those dollars are is it's going toward 2 different projects that, quite frankly, is taking way too long to get clarification, and it is taking a long time because FEMA has to of everything. And to the comments I heard some of the people make here about what's happening at the FEMA landscape, and even hearing Jim talk about the things around all the dollars in reimbursement, things are happening really slow. Unfortunately, that $156 million can't get touched from FEMA unless it's approved and those clarifications provided by FEMA.
Is Governor Kehoe and other officials advocating and making sure that we're pushing and applying?
We have an advocacy, but across all of the governor's office. We're on the phone with Eric Schmidt. We're on the phone with Josh Hawley, trying to drive everyone to drive the approvals kind of where we can and with that speed. We did get a lot of the clarifications we needed this week and working through it. But the bigger process is taking a long time. It took a long time to get the initial project approved, and then it took a long time to get the details ironed out with FEMA. We have now gotten most of that ironed out. The contract, I think I heard Jim mention earlier, for the demolition services got launched yesterday. It's still annoying because it takes a while. They're going to have it open for 2 weeks. They're going to have to award it, and then contractors will start on the ground. The state is still not giving us a firm commitment, but we are expecting it to be in March, and I